Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. For this video, I'm going to set up my bullet journal for the month of March, and I will also be using watercolor for the first time on this journal. The theme that I chose for this month is watercolor galaxies, and I have always loved painting galaxies, and even my first YouTube video on this channel is a galaxy themed one. So for the cover page, I'm starting by adding a layer of water first because I will be using the wet on wet technique for the galaxies. I'm going with a dark blue and purple theme, so I'm just adding all of the colors to the paper and just blending them all together. I find painting galaxies very relaxing, one because it never has to be perfect, and second because watching all the colors blend together makes me feel very calm. So on the right page, which will be my title page, I'm painting the galaxy inside a circle because I didn't want to do the full page, and then I'm adding another layer to the left page, which is going to be my quote page. I think you get the best result when you let it dry naturally, but I didn't have a lot of time to do this, so I'm using a blow dryer to dry all of the watercolor. Then comes my favorite part when painting galaxies, which is sprinkling all of the stars, and I'm using a silver foil paint and a toothbrush to do this, and I just find this process so satisfying. Then I have this washi tape set from the washi tape shop. This is called the Dreamcatcher set, and it has this beautiful gold foiling with moons and stars all over it. So I'm cutting out little pieces of that and using it throughout all of my spreads. Then I'm using my alphabet stamps for the title and the quote, and ever since I got this stamp set, I use it everywhere and I just love it. So I'm cutting up all of the words and pasting it in place with some Fevicol, and the quote says, "I know nothing with any certainty, but the sight of the stars make me dream." If you know where or who said this quote, let me know in the comments. And then I just made a little calendar, and that is it for my cover page. Next, for the monthly page, I decided to start a Dutch door setup from here. Since I'm using watercolor for this setup, I didn't want to paint every single page, so I cut out 3 of the pages, so I just had to paint the 2 visible sides. I love making Dutch doors on my bullet journal because they save me a lot of time and decorating, and it always looks really good at the end. So I'm painting the galaxy background on both the sides, and I really love this dark blue and purple themed galaxy, but you can always choose a color palette of your own and try it out. You just need to remember that it is your bullet journal, so do what works best for you. After finishing the 2 sides, I added some washi tape cutouts, and then I saw this video on TikTok where you cut out little pieces of the washi tape to create a design, and that's what I'm trying here, but I realized it took a really long time, so I did that later off camera. So then I'm making the monthly calendar using some pigment liners and markers. This is after I added all of the washi tape pieces, and I think I went a little overboard, but I still really like how it turned out. Then, to make full use of the Dutch door, I'm making a to-do list for the left side. To-do lists are my favorite things to add on my bullet journal spreads because it just keeps me motivated to complete all of my tasks throughout the month. And that is it for the monthly spread. Next, let's move on to trackers. On this page, I am making an expense tracker and a mood tracker. I'm finding expense trackers really useful lately, and I highly recommend it to you guys as well because it really helps me keep my expenses in track. And for the mood tracker, I've just really been enjoying this bar graph style with all the days of the month and emojis to represent my mood. I'm also using a piece of washi tape to make tabs for the spreads. And finally, on the right side of the Dutch doors, I'm making my habit trackers so that this way I will hopefully remember to fill them in every day. And I also added some washi tape pieces at the bottom, and this is how it turned out. Now for the weeklies, I'm separating each day of the week using watercolor. I could have done this easily with some markers, but I had a lot of paint left on my palette and I think this just looks great anyway. And then I added a tab and wrote down all of the days of the week with a white gel pen, and I repeated the same for the next page as well. Finally, you must know by now that I like to set up for the whole month at once. So for the final weekly page, I made little boxes for the remaining days and covered the rest of the space with watercolor. I will admit I did this to finish the paint remaining on my palette, and it doesn't look that great here, but just trust the process because this one turned out to be one of my favorite pages from this whole setup. And one more thing I'd like to mention is that you can see I've used so much watercolor throughout all of the spreads, and I'm so happy that there is no ghosting whatsoever. And you can find the link to this bullet journal in the description. This is the Koibook by Koiko Nepal, and I have just been really loving using this bullet journal. I also added a little section for highlights and stickers, and this turned out so much better than I expected. I also added more white washi tape pieces at the bottom, and that is it for my March bullet journal setup. I really enjoyed making this month's setup, and I really hope that you like it too. Don't forget to leave a like if you did and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Bye!